Hey everyone, it's Paul from South P24 from Instagram and YouTube. For those of you who follow me, you'd be more familiar with my toy photography and some custom figures that I feature on my page. But we're going to do something a little different today because I managed to get my hands on the Cantina Showdown Power of the Force exclusive set. It's a 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm special, and yeah, I think it's a San Diego Comic-Con and also definitely a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. So I thought we would do a little bit of an unboxing. Let's see how these guys look. We'll look at the box. It's obviously in the nice retro Power of the Force packaging. I definitely collected a bit of this back when the special editions came out and they relaunched the Kenner line. So it's got a bit of nostalgia for me, but to be honest, I'm not a mint-in box kind of collector. So as nice as this looks, I've got limited display space. So for me, it's going to go in the recycling bin. But for those of you who are into keeping them nice in the package, it's certainly a beautiful display window. There you go. Nice little write-up there. But for me, yeah, tearing it into it, throwing it out. There's a good look. You can see how those accessories are up in the side. So they got all their little rubber bands. I'll cut into them, free them up, and then we'll check back. It's got those cool alternate hands for Ponda Baba. These like flipper hands. Seems to have a couple of drinks or glasses and Kenobi saber. I guess technically you could kind of keep the background of the box, which could be useful for photography. I probably am not going to do that because I just want to tear into it. All right, we got it out of the package. God, it was actually pretty tough. Important thing to note when you are getting out of the package is the sequence of how the drink dispensary or whatever you want to call it fits onto the bar. I had to reference back once it came out. I lost track. But you can easily find pictures of where it all goes. But you can move it all around. So if you do get a second set, I can see how that could be kind of cool. And they would peg into each other. I can see myself buying a second set at some point if it was reasonably priced. But anyways, these aren't bad. You got to be careful when you're taking them out because you could potentially break the plastic. I don't have them in there that well, but they're in there good enough. The bar sort of comes apart midway. Pegs in. I'm not going to take it apart really, but you can see how it can connect into other pieces when they become available. All right, let's look at the figures. All right, Ponda. I mean, this is the figure that I was most excited about in the set. He comes with a really cool blaster. That's incredibly delicate, by the way. Mine's already a bit bent, so you got to be careful with the what do you call that? Anyways, the tip of the blaster, but it's a nice blaster. I don't think we've seen that before on another figure, so it's all new. With the otherwise complete reuse other than the head sculpt. Even the holster, I think, is the same holster on Yavin Luke. Yeah, so otherwise everything else is the same. Oh, wait. Okay, so the undershirt is different. So we do have a slight difference there, but it still has the markings on the chest. Yeah. All right, so slight variation, at least different upper torso. And maybe that was done to accommodate a different neck. So a little bit of difference with the Yavin Luke, but otherwise everything else was the same other than those hands. Speaking of those hands, like I said, the swap is super easy. At least if you wanted to show Kenobi chopping off his hand, you can do that. But no, you can't. You're not going to chop it off at the forearm like it actually happens in the movie. I can't really tell if there's a left or a right. Does it say something? It does. If you look in, it's got an L and an R. So there you go. You can put on his flipper hands. Yeah, so there's an L and an R. I'm not going to try and show you on the camera because it's so hard to see. I can't even see it in real life here. And there you go. He's got his nice little flipper hoof hands. You got your walrus man, as we called him back in the day. The hands come off really easy, by the way. You don't have to feel like you're going to break the peg. I think personally, I'm going to go with the hand version on display. I don't know. There's just like very little detail here, and maybe that's the way it is in the movie. I'm going to go back and take a look. There's a little bit of hair closer to the wrist, and definitely the hands themselves. See if you can zoom in on that. The hands do have some nice detail that you don't tend to get on Black Series hands. In general, very hard to find cool alien hands in the Black Series. You get guys like Plo Koon or Kit Fisto, but hard to get decent alien hands if you're into making customs. The thing about this guy that's just so awesome is that head sculpt. So much detail, nothing impeding the articulation, so you can really get some good posing out of him. Yeah, I'm super stoked about this guy. Really happy with it. I'd say it kind of is the star of this set. Good old Ponda Baba. Dr. Evazan. I don't know how to say his name. His articulation is really nice on the neck. One of the best I've seen in a Black Series. Everything else about him looks new. I don't recognize these parts at all. He does not have butterfly joint. Pretty tight arms. This one's so tight I'm gonna have to warm it up. I'm not gonna force it. The blaster also seems to be all new. I don't recognize that from another figure. Torso seems all new, super stiff. Again, I won't force that. Legs, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're also brand new. Really cool boots. And I like this vest. I'd be tempted to put a soft goods vest over it, swap it out, I mean, but it's really not bad. It's got some nice detail. It's got these pouches across the back. It's got a little bald spot. And he's like one ugly dude, eh? The sculpt is nice, but I can't help but think it's not quite accurate. He's good looking, like, and I think he'll look great on the shelf. I just don't know if that's really him, you know? And we've had two versions of him. We have the A New Hope version, we have the Rogue One version, and this is something else. I don't know. It's still cool. I'm gonna hit it probably with some matte spray just to take down some of that glossiness that we see on these figures. Everything else about him is cool. Awesome purple pants. He's just so Star Wars-y. Really stoked to have him too. They look awesome. Taking a look at the old Ben figure. Obviously it's all about that head. It looks fantastic. Which, side by side with the old guy, oh, it's night and day. And honestly, I held off on buying the Kenner 50th anniversary version that already had that photoreal head on the same sculpt. But man, what a difference. So for me, just having that makes it worthwhile. Everything else about the figure is the same. Same old tired articulation. I'm not a fan of the plastic cloak. I know some people are into plastic robes, but I mean, he can't fit in the land speeder, which has always been a problem. And of course, the arm articulation makes it impossible for him to do a two-handed saber grip. Yeah, speaking of sabers, it's the same Kenobi saber that we've seen before with this figure. Personally, I might try and do some customizing on him, but definitely an improvement. All right, here's the three figures lined up side by side. I can't tell you if the heights are appropriate based on what they were in the film or anything. Obviously, Ponda's based on the Yavin Luke body, so that's that. Here's how a Farm Boy Luke swaps in. I'll get rid of old Ben here. I feel like Luke's probably stands a little tall compared to these two, but again, nothing noticeable. And lastly, here's a comparison versus some of my own customs. Evazan was based on a Poe with some Kenobi arms. The head was from Two Sons casting, and it's, I'd say, a much closer depiction of what I think this character should look like. But the body obviously is better on this guy. This was a head cast I made myself, enlarged from a 3.75 inch figure. Base body was a fin with what I think was a hand jacket. So yeah, as a customizer, always cool when you get something from Hasbro and you actually feel comfortable enough to ditch your own work. So in this case, Hasbro won, I think. I don't know. Feel free to leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I think the Two Sun custom head is superior perhaps to this guy, but everything else is working so nicely. And as far as my own custom Ponda versus theirs, I think Hasbro takes it. I did try and do some little whiskers with some bristles, but the only thing that my guy has going on that he doesn't is I made that arm easily detachable. Yeah. So I don't know. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Did Hasbro beat out an old South P24 custom? I kind of think they did, so I'll probably be ditching these two guys, and I'll stick with the Cantina Showdown version.
So here you go, one last look at the Black Series Power of the Force 50th anniversary Lucasfilm Cantina Showdown set. It's an exclusive at Hasbro Pulse, and overall I'd say I really recommend picking this up if you get a chance. I think the two figures, especially in Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan, are a great pickup. And as always, be sure to check me out, South P24 on Instagram, and if you like the video here on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, leave your comments, and I'll leave you with last couple of toy photography shots that are going to end up on my page. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.